Aisha's tablet buzzed, sharp against the dull hum of the office. She looked down. Upgrade canceled. The words held no warmth, only the authority of someone else's whim. Crane leaned back, suit immaculate, clipped smile in place. "Your upgrade won't go through," he said, voice measured. Aisha's eyes met his. She breathed slowly. "Explain why, Mr. Crane." The silence stretched. He shifted, jaw tight, fingers tapping the edge of his desk. The plaques behind him gleamed, but authority faltered under their gaze. It's out of my hands," he murmured, avoiding her stare. Her hands hovered over the tablet, steady. "Out of whose hands?" He faltered. The room felt smaller. Every second became heavier, charged. His calm cracked in subtle flickers, twitching lips, darting eyes. She did not move, did not raise her voice. The tension spoke. Her pulse stayed quiet, controlled, but her presence filled the space more than any words could. Crane swallowed. A throat cleared. Another pause? Aisha tapped the screen, light and deliberate. "Then someone needs to answer, not me." He nodded once, tightly, retreating into the veneer of composure that could no longer hold. Crane straightened his tie, shoulders rigid. "This is standard procedure," he said, voice even. Aisha's gaze didn't waver. "Standard for whom?" He paused, jaw tightening. It's what the office requires." Plaques glinted behind him, symbols of authority that suddenly felt hollow. His hands fidgeted. "You look uncertain," she said softly. He swallowed. No words came. Silence pressed between them, heavier than any argument. Aisha sat, shoulders steady, eyes fixed. "Explain why, Mr. Crane?" He blinked, throat tight. It's procedure." Her silence stretched. "You think procedure matters more than effort?" she asked softly. Crane's hands twitched. Words faltered. The office felt heavier. Every plaque and polished desk reflected his uncertainty. Her quiet strength pressed against his practiced calm. Aisha held the tablet, hands steady. "This represents years of work," she said quietly. Crane blinked, smirk fading. I didn't realize." "You didn't realize?" she repeated, voice calm, measured. He swallowed, shifting uneasily. Her eyes swept the plaques, the whispers, the subtle dismissals that had shadowed her. "It doesn't vanish because someone wants it gone." Silence settled, heavy, undeniable. Aisha leaned back in her chair, rubbing her temples. "Years of work, all of it just ignored," she murmured. A colleague shifted, hesitant. We tried to support you." She shook her head slightly. "Tried?" Every complaint brushed aside, every effort overlooked. Silence filled the office, heavy and accusing. She stared at the chalk dust on her desk. "And still, we do the work anyway." Aisha glanced up as a colleague passed. No greeting, only averted eyes. "You're handling it well," someone whispered, barely audible. She nodded once, calm. "I manage." Crane's assistant tapped a report onto her desk. "Donor, they expect results." She met the gaze, steady. "I always deliver." Silence lingered, thick, carrying judgment heavier than any words. Aisha walked past empty classrooms, fingertips brushing the spines of stacked textbooks. "They'll never notice this," she whispered to herself. A colleague peeked in, voice low. "It's being talked about online?" She nodded, expression unreadable. "Let them talk. The work still stands." Silence stretched, thick with the weight of erased labor and unspoken truths. Mr. Reynolds leaned closer, lowering his voice. "She deserves better. This isn't over." Aisha met his gaze steadily. "I won't let it be." He nodded once, almost imperceptibly. The office air remained thick, yet something shifted. Her resolve tightened, silent but unyielding. as change quietly edged its way forward. Aisha stepped in. "Good afternoon." Whispers slid across the boardroom, phones lifted, cameras angled. Crane adjusted his tie, voice tight. We were expecting." She held his gaze. "Expecting what?" Silence stretched, heavy and deliberate. Every eye tracked, every hand paused. Years of erased effort hung in the balance, unspoken but undeniable. Crane cleared his throat, voice tight. This decision was..." The donor's gaze didn't waver. "Was what?" He swallowed, hands shifting nervously. "It's protocol, standard procedure." Aisha's eyes softened, calm but firm. Protocol shouldn't erase years of work. Board members exchanged glances. Phones hovered. Silence stretched, heavy and accusing. Authority faltered, exposed by restraint and quiet truth. The donor leaned forward, voice steady. "Reinstate the upgrade. She earned it, and you know it." Crane's mouth opened, then closed. Aisha's gaze held him, unflinching. "Thought what? That years of work could be canceled on a whim?" The room stilled. Murmurs faded. Recognition hung in the air. A camera clicked. A board member whispered, "Should we?" Aisha's eyes never wavered. "I've presented the facts." Crane's hands tightened. I thought it was handled." The room fell quiet, murmurs dying, phones lowered. Observation alone weighed heavier than any argument. Authority crumbled silently, and Aisha's presence carried justice without a single raised voice. Aisha looked at the reinstated upgrade. Crane muttered, "I see it now." "Finally," she said softly, letting the tension drop. Colleagues avoided eye contact, whispers of apology weaving through the room. Students' cheers echoed faintly. Phones captured moments of quiet triumph. Justice settled in, unspoken yet undeniable, leaving only calm behind. Aisha paused, sunlight warming the empty desks. "Years of this, and it mattered," she whispered, fingers brushing the tablet. A congratulatory message blinked. "Your work changes lives." She smiled quietly. The hall remained still, yet it spoke. Every empty classroom echoed effort, resilience, and acknowledgement, carrying the weight of unseen battles into the calm light. The office was empty. He's gone?" a board member whispered. "Yes," Aisha said softly, gaze steady. A colleague nodded, silent acknowledgement passing between them. The hum of authority vanished. Cameras recorded quiet judgment. Every glance, every pause, weighed heavier than words. Justice lingered in absence, undeniable, restrained, poetic in its silence. Aisha stood by the window, sunlight warming her face. "Work never disappears. Only the truth prevails," she whispered. A young teacher peeked in. You really made a difference?" Aisha smiled faintly. "Yes. Quiet persistence speaks louder than arrogance. The system bends when dignity stands." The room felt lighter, small victories echoing through empty halls.